God is saying someone is warning you about a person whose name begins with the letter L. Don't ignore this warning. The truth about this person may soon come to light. Dom, my child, do not be afraid of what is being brought into the light, for I do not reveal the truth to confuse you, but to free you from relationships that have quietly drained your peace. Archangel Michael is being sent as a reminder that you are not alone in this unseen battle. There is someone whose name begins with the letter M, who once stood close enough to hear plans you had shared with very few people, knew the places where you were vulnerable, and understood the things you were hoping for. That closeness once caused you to believe they would rejoice when you were lifted. But time will reveal what their words concealed. Yet do not rush to condemn, and do not allow one letter to make you suspicious of everyone around you. I will confirm the truth through clear evidence, revealed actions, and results that cannot be disguised. Your part is not to hunt for a face to blame, but to remain watchful, and allow me to discern what you cannot yet see clearly. That person once believed that if they planted enough doubt, they could cause others to look at you differently. They tried to make your efforts appear insignificant, to cover your name with things you had never done, and quietly prevent you from entering an opportunity that was beginning to open. But, my beloved, your honor does not rest in the hands of another human being. No one can erase what I have recognized in your faithfulness, perseverance, and the good works you performed in secret. People may alter a report, distort a story, or attempt to close a path, but they cannot change my intention. When one door is blocked by injustice, I am not limited to that door. I can create other paths that are wider, healthier, and better suited to the person you are becoming. There were times when you were deeply hurt, because you could not understand why someone who once smiled at you became distant when you began to move forward. You tried to remember whether you had said something wrong or unintentionally caused them pain, but not every distance is the result of your mistake. Sometimes your growth exposes insecurity that another person has kept hidden. When you begin to establish boundaries, those who benefited from your lack of limits may become uncomfortable. When you no longer make yourself smaller so that they can feel safe, they may call your stability pride. Remain calm. You do not need to return to a weaker version of yourself merely to preserve a relationship that was peaceful, only when you were always the one making sacrifices. I know that words have been spoken behind your back, and judgments have been formed from a small portion of truth mixed with many falsehoods. But I do not want you to spend your precious days chasing every conversation. Truth possesses a life of its own. It does not need you to shout in order to exist. As you continue walking with integrity, false words will gradually lose their ground. Those with clear hearts will observe the consistency of your life rather than believe a hurried story. As for those who intentionally cling to deception, you do not need to exhaust yourself trying to persuade them. I have not called you to live beneath the judgment of the crowd. I have called you to walk in peace, faithfully complete what has been entrusted to you, and allow healthy results to speak on your behalf. What is being released in your life is not merely a material opportunity. I am restoring the parts of you wounded by betrayal. I am returning the confidence that belittling words once stole. I am healing your home from prolonged tension, softening relationships that have become hardened, and opening conversations that no one previously had the courage to begin. I am also leading you into a more mature way of managing resources, so that what comes to you will not merely lighten your present burden, but will build a foundation for the future. The blessing I give is not a temporary display. It carries order, stability, and the ability to stand firm without depending upon anyone's pity. Someone once believed that if they could exhaust you, you would eventually walk away from your path. They did not need to oppose you openly. They only needed to repeatedly plant the feeling that you were incapable, unworthy, and would never be recognized. But I saw how you continued moving forward on days when no one encouraged you. I saw you work while your heart was weary. Keep your word even when others broke theirs, and strive not to allow pain to make you bitter. These things are evidence that you are stronger than what they said about you. You are not standing because you were never wounded. You are standing because every time you were knocked down, I taught you to rise with deeper wisdom. Do not fear curses or malicious intentions whispered in darkness. A spoken word does not have authority to rule your life, merely because it was uttered with cruelty. What protects you is not knowing every scheme, but living in truth, integrity, and spiritual awareness. I stopped many things before they could touch you. I caused impure plans to contradict themselves, made fabricated stories unable to stand, and removed you from places where your presence was only being exploited. Some things you called loss were actually deliverance. Some relationships ended, not because you were unworthy of love, but because I did not want you to continue entrusting yourself to those who knew only how to use that trust for their own gain. Archangel Michael is being sent not to magnify your fear, but to remind you that courage must walk together with discernment. You do not need to confront anyone in anger, announce a person's name without clear evidence, or retaliate through the same methods that once wounded. You observe, pray, and maintain the necessary distance when someone repeatedly says one thing and does another. Trust the fruit more than the promise when continually robs you of peace. Reconsider the level of access you have given. When someone rejoices only while you are weak but becomes disturbed. When you grow, you do not need to hate them, but you must stop placing precious things into their hands. I will not allow false accusations to become your identity. What is written through deception will not endure before the light. I will bring people capable of judging fairly, opportunities that do not depend upon the recommendation of the jealous, and places where your value is recognized through what you actually do. Yet when I lift you, keep your heart tender. Do not use your new position to humiliate those from the past. Do not turn success into a performance designed to make someone regret how they treated you. The noblest restoration is when you become so free that you no longer need the person who hurt you to witness your joy. You move forward not to defeat them, but to fulfill what I have entrusted to you within your family. I am doing a quiet but profound work. Some cracks cannot be repaired through one conversation, but I am creating tenderness where there was once only defensiveness. I am teaching you to speak truth without injuring, forgive without enabling, and love without losing boundaries. Restoration will not always look like returning to the way things were, because some former patterns need to be changed at the root. I want to build for you a home where respect is preserved, words are no longer weapons, and each person learns to take responsibility for their part. What I am doing will not only make you feel better, it will establish a new foundation for those who come after you concerning finances. Prepare yourself not only with hope, but also with wisdom. I may open opportunities, but you must learn how to manage them. I may bring resources, but you must know how to prioritize, practice restraint, and build for the long term. Do not pursue promises of sudden wealth that require you to compromise your integrity. Do not place your trust in something unclear. Merely because you long to escape pressure, what comes through my guidance will never require you to betray your conscience. It may demand effort, discipline, and patience, but it will not bind you in fear. I want you to have enough not only to meet your own needs, but also to become someone who strengthens others, creates opportunities, and builds. What is good, my child? Your name has never disappeared from my remembrance. What others attempted to bury cannot erase the purpose I placed within you. Stop fearing that one person can destroy your entire future. No one possesses that much power. I am leading you away from dependence upon human approval and placing you where you know who you are, even when you are misunderstood. When the truth is revealed, remain calm. When a new door opens, walk through with gratitude. When those who once doubted you begin to see you differently, do not allow pride to replace grace. You were preserved not to become cold, but to become both strong and compassionate, both watchful and peaceful. What I have prepared for you will arrive at the appointed time, and no deception, jealousy, or scheme can prevent a life that knows how to stand firmly in my light. You are entering a season of transition in which waiting is no longer merely an empty space, because the things that were delayed are being rearranged by me according to a new order. I know you have often looked around and seen only signs of lack, doors that had not opened, unfinished plans, and prayers that seemed unanswered. But, my beloved, do not use what is visible before you to define your entire future. Some of the most important work takes place where you cannot yet see it. When you believe everything is standing still, I am redirecting a current, realigning a connection, removing a false opportunity, and preparing a path that is more suitable for you. What is coming is not a reward for impatience, but the result of a process through which you have been trained to receive with wisdom and preserve through faithfulness. I have not forgotten your name during the days when you felt pushed aside. No word of contempt can erase the value I have seen within you. Some people said you would not go far, that your failures had already proven your limitations, and that what you hoped for was too great for your present ability. But they saw only a small part of the journey. They did not know about the nights you kept trying, when no one encouraged you, the times you began again, after everything appeared to collapse, or the way you quietly matured through every loss. I do not judge you by one difficult season. I see the perseverance formed within you, the wisdom you paid dearly to acquire, and the heart that still knows how to love, even after being treated unjustly. What others attempted to take from you may not return in the same form, but I can restore its value in a deeper way. You lost time in relationships that did not appreciate you, but I will use the years ahead to lead you into healthy and purposeful connections. You lost peace by constantly trying to please everyone, but I am teaching you a peace that no longer depends upon their attitudes. You once felt your strength being drained because you had been carrying too much for too long, but I am bringing you into a new rhythm of life, where exhaustion is no longer treated as evidence of devotion. The restoration I bring does not always mean recovering the exact condition of what was lost often. It means receiving maturity, freedom, and the ability to make wise choices that you never possessed before. The battle you endured was not only connected to one person or one event. It touched the way you see yourself and the future You desire to leave to those who come after you. Certain fears remained in your family for so long that they began to appear normal. Fear of scarcity, fear of failure, fear of rejection, and fear of living differently from old patterns. I am helping you end that cycle. You do not need to continue passing on the anxiety you inherited. You can establish a different legacy, not only through money, but through an orderly life, healthy love, keeping your word, protecting boundaries, and refusing to use your pain to wound others. What I am building through you will not only help you stand today, it will create a healthier foundation for those who follow in your footsteps. Do not panic when the truth about a person or relationship is revealed. You do not need to make yourself a judge, nor do you need to rush to discover who has secretly opposed you. I do not lead you through suspicion. When what you need to know appears, it will be accompanied by clear evidence, consistent actions, and discernment that allows you to recognize the truth without living in confusion. Your part is to observe calmly, not ignore repeated patterns, and stop granting access to those who repeatedly violate trust. You may forgive while maintaining distance. You may release hatred while closing a door that is no longer safe. Peace does not require naivety. It teaches you to be strong without becoming bitter. I know every night you lost sleep, and every moment you turned toward the darkness and wondered when everything would change. I know what it felt like to rise the following morning as though nothing had happened, while unanswered questions still remained inside you. None of your tears were meaningless, but I do not want you to live forever in sorrow and call it faithfulness to the past. What you endured must be transformed into understanding, not into a cage. Let pain teach you what is worthy, but do not allow it to persuade you that everyone will betray you. Let loss teach you to value the present, but do not allow it to make you afraid to love again. I do not merely want you to survive the dark days. I want you to emerge with a heart that is wiser, gentler, and freer. My messengers are moving within the matters you cannot control, but at the same time, I am placing very practical steps before you. Some doors open through a timely meeting. Some financial restoration begins through a disciplined decision, a new skill, suitable work, or the abandonment of a habit that has been wasting resources. Some healing comes through rest, professional care, an appropriate method, and patience with the process. Do not limit my work to dramatic events. I can use things that seem ordinary to create lasting change. Genuine help will not require you to abandon clear thinking, surrender your dignity, or live in fear that you must seize the opportunity before it disappears. Do not desire your elevation to become punishment for those who once hurt you. I am not restoring you so that you may gain greater strength to retaliate. I am restoring you so that they no longer control you. One day, what surprises them most will not be how much you possess, but how you preserved kindness after everything that happened. Your maturity will silence mockery. Your peace will answer those who once made you anxious. The way you use what is given will prove that the years of preparation were not wasted. You do not need to stand before anyone and announce that you have won. An orderly life will become the most powerful testimony by itself. I have seen the way you forgave, even while the wound was not fully healed. I saw the times you chose not to retaliate. Even though you could have done so, I know. You continued praying for good things for those who misunderstood you, even when you had to pray through tears. Yet remember that forgiveness does not mean ignoring every consequence. Love does not require you to return trust to someone who has shown no change. Mercy does not force you to return to an environment that repeatedly caused you to collapse. I want you to remain compassionate, but I also want you to protect what is precious within you. You will no longer be manipulated by guilt whenever you say no. You will no longer carry responsibility for the wrong choices of others. This is also part of the restoration I am bringing concerning your health. Do not turn promises into an excuse to neglect necessary care. I can bring peace, strength, and progress that fills you with gratitude, but you must also respect appropriate guidance, pay attention to your body, and seek help when necessary. I do not call you to prove your faith by ignoring important signs. Mature faith knows how to pray and also how to act responsibly. Your progress may unfold one step at a time through methods you once considered insignificant, but lasting change is often built through precisely such steps. Be patient and do not condemn yourself. If today does not look greatly different from yesterday, restoration is not a race, and you do not need to compare your journey with anyone else's. Concerning money, prepare your mind before expecting greater resources. I want you to learn how to manage, practice restraint, and distinguish between genuine needs and temporary desires. Do not allow pressure to make you believe promises of quick wealth, unclear agreements, or paths that require you to compromise your integrity. Lasting resources usually come together with responsibility. When an opportunity arrives, examine it carefully. When your income grows, build a foundation, instead of immediately displaying it. When you are able to help others, give with wisdom rather than from a desire for praise. I do not want you merely to escape scarcity for a short time. I want you to build a life capable of standing through many seasons. My child, what once attempted to stop you does not have the authority to write the final chapter of your story. But understand that my protection does not always mean you will never encounter obstacles again. It means those obstacles cannot destroy the purpose when you continue walking in truth. Some people wanted your name to be forgotten, but the way you live will cause your story to be remembered with respect. Some tried to make you ashamed, but I am teaching you to stand upright without displaying yourself. Some caused you to believe that the future had been locked, but you will discover that no human being holds every key. When one path closes, I can still lead you into a more spacious place. Therefore lift your head while keeping your heart humble. Hope, but do not abandon discernment. Trust, but continue doing your part faithfully. Do not measure the future by what is missing today, because a seed that has not yet appeared above the ground does not mean the soil is empty. I am working within you before changing the circumstances around you. I am healing the way you see yourself, correcting false beliefs, restoring courage, and preparing you to receive without fear, preserve without greed, and give without displaying yourself. When the new season opens, you will understand that delay was not rejection. It was the time I used to transform you into someone steady enough to enter what had been prepared, no longer pulled backward by the past, ruled by fear, or dependent upon another person's failure in order to feel lifted. Be at peace, for I am placing my protection around your home, not so that you may live in fear, but so that you may know the place where you belong is being covered by my gentle care. There were nights when the smallest sound startled you, and moments when you looked at your loved ones and feared that an unexpected event might take away the fragile peace you had worked so hard to build. But, my beloved, do not allow your mind to remain constantly on guard intention. You were not created to live like someone always waiting for something terrible to happen. I am teaching you to make your home a place of order, love, and awareness, where bitter words no longer have permission to remain. Old fears are no longer passed from one person to another, and each person may return without wearing a mask of strength. My messengers are being sent to guard what you cannot see, but I am also giving you wisdom to protect your home through practical choices. Be careful about what you allow to cross the threshold, not only in the form of a person, but also in the words, habits, and influences that quietly weaken peace. Some conversations appear harmless, but sow division. Some connections begin with friendliness, but eventually cause the people in your home to distrust one another. Some of the content you receive every day has quietly exhausted your mind and caused you to see life through darkened eyes. I want you to choose what is good, close the entrances that are no longer appropriate, and preserve your living space as a place of rest, honesty, and restoration. The abundance into which I am leading you is not measured only by the amount of money you possess. I know financial pressures once caused you to lose sleep, calculate every small expense, and sometimes feel ashamed because you could not provide as you desired. But I do not look upon you with contempt. I see someone who has tried, accepted responsibility, and continues learning to manage more wisely. What I am opening will not only lighten your present burden, it will also transform the way you understand resources. You will no longer regard money as a savior, nor will you remain afraid whenever you think about tomorrow. I will teach you to plan, establish priorities, say no to expenses made merely to please others, and build step by step, instead of pursuing promises that appear too quickly. When stability begins returning, do not use it to display how far you have come. Turn relief into gratitude, resources into opportunities to help, and the days of scarcity into compassion. For those who are still struggling, the greatest miracle is not merely that your wallet becomes fuller, but that the fear within you no longer rules every decision. You will be able to sit down without being obsessed by numbers, share without panicking. That you will lose everything and look toward the future calmly instead of always preparing for disaster. True abundance does not make you proud. It makes you generous, disciplined, and able to use what you receive for its proper purpose. I am also touching wounds that have traveled through many generations in your family. Some pain began long ago and was passed down not through stories, but through the way people reacted, remained silent, and treated one another. Someone in your family grew up without being heard, so as an adult, they did not know how to listen to others. Someone was once abandoned, so they tried to keep everyone close through control. Someone lived through scarcity, so even after having enough, they could not stop being afraid. These things do not make them evil. They reveal places that were never properly cared for. I am helping you recognize these cycles, not so that you may blame previous generations, but so that you do not continue passing the pain to those who come after you. Family healing often begins when one person is courageous enough to live differently. That person may be you. When others raise their voices, you learn to remain calm. When the past tries to pull you back into old reactions, you choose to pause before speaking. When you make a mistake, you do not hide it, but accept responsibility. When you are hurt, you do not use silence as punishment. These choices may seem small, but they are creating a new foundation. You cannot change everyone in one day, but you can stop one painful word from being passed on. You can begin an honest conversation, apologize at the right time, establish necessary boundaries, and create a way of loving that is no longer rooted in fear. I also want you to understand that caring for your body is part of honoring life. Do not merely pray for health while continuing to ignore what is exhausting you. Rest when necessary, eat with balance, seek professional care when unusual signs appear, and remain patient with the process of recovery. I do not require you to prove your faith by neglecting wisdom. Some changes come quickly, but others require time, support, and discipline. Do not become discouraged. If you are still tired today, or if the results do not yet resemble what you hoped for, small progress is still precious. Better sleep a day with less pain, a calmer mind, and one healthy habit consistently maintained can all be important steps on the road back to stability. A home of restoration is not a home where problems never exist. It is a place where problems are no longer hidden until they become cracks too large to repair. It is a place where people learn to speak truth without humiliating one another, disagree without destroying the relationship, and understand that weakness is not something shameful. I want your home to become a place where the weary can breathe, where children do not need to guess whether the adults will become angry, where the elderly are heard, and where each person is reminded that their worth does not depend upon achievement. What was broken does not necessarily need to be rebuilt in its former shape. Sometimes I am creating something new, healthier, and more enduring than what existed before. You have seen the empty spaces within your family and wondered whether they could ever be filled. Some were created by someone who left, words that were never spoken, or many years of living near one another while remaining distant in heart. I do not promise that everything will return exactly as it was, but I can bring new meaning into places once defined only by loss. I can bring sincere people into your life, restore relationships that still possess the capacity for healing, and help you release what cannot return. Wholeness does not always mean recovering everything that was lost. Sometimes it means the empty space no longer controls you, that you can remember without collapsing and love, without living in fear of abandonment. Be patient with the work I am doing. Do not measure change only through great moments. Notice the way the atmosphere in your home becomes gentler, the way an argument ends sooner, the way you no longer react as you once did, and the way a family member begins opening their heart after a long period of silence. These signs may be subtle, but they reveal that something new is taking root. I am transforming a place once filled with tension into a place of rest. I am teaching hands once clenched by fear to open. I am placing hope where there was only disappointment, and teaching your family that genuine love does not control, humiliate, or require anyone to lose themselves. My child, continue protecting your home through clean words, wise choices, and a heart that does not nurture bitterness. Do not carry every conflict from outside into your home and release it upon those you love. Do not allow financial pressure to turn into coldness. Do not use former mistakes to keep someone trapped in shame forever. Create what you once wished to receive: listening, patience, respect, and a sense of safety. When you do this, you are building with me a family different from what the past attempted to define. What was fractured is being repaired piece by piece. Dry places are being refreshed. Empty spaces are gradually being filled with sincere presence, wisdom, and mature love. Therefore, do not fear tomorrow. Your home has not been abandoned. Your future is not locked, and old wounds do not possess the authority to rule forever. I am protecting you, but at the same time, I am teaching you how to protect what is precious through responsibility. I am opening a path toward stability, but I am also forming you into someone who knows how to manage it. I am bringing restoration, but I am also inviting you to release the habits that once caused brokenness. Walk with me in peace. One day, when you look back, you will recognize that your home truly changed, not because it never experienced storms, but because in the midst of every storm, love learned how to remain. Truth was given a voice, and hearts that had once drifted apart found the road back to one another.